Welcome to another episode of With or Without Parole, where we just going to get right into it. We're going to discuss Christians and Muslims and Christians. My personal experience with a Muslim that I called a devil worshiper. Bang! You're probably thinking like, this dude called a Muslim a devil worshiper. Not directly. Here's the story. Let's get into it. So I was in a little satellite camp, and in these satellite camps, it's a smaller versions of, Louisiana Department of Corrections. It's not, one of the prisons that are directly run by the state of Louisiana, and it's not one of the bigger privately owned facilities, but a more smaller privately owned facility in one of these small parishes in the state of Louisiana, where the whole purpose is to make money off of inmates. We know inmates is a big business and there's a lot of money to be had off of them. So this is where I was housed at. And it was an open dorm bunk area. And I was in this dorm, almost like a tin can type dorm. The buildings are tin, tall ceilings, beds stretched all the way through the middle and all the way against the wall, packed like sardines inside a tin can. It was full. So I'm having this conversation with this dude I know, right? And we over there talking about the Bible, and I'm trying to witness to him about my faith in Jesus. And I'm telling him, because one thing I did while I was in jail from time to time is, I shared my faith. So I'm talking to this dude about Jesus, a friend of mine, wild dude at that. Maybe I'll tell some more stories on him later. But we talking about it, and he's asking me, he's like, well, what about the Quran? What about Islam? What do you think about that? And as we were talking about it, I said, well, to me, as a Christian, anything outside of Christianity is devil worshiping. And he's like, so the Muslims worship the devil. I said, if it's outside of Christianity, it's devil worship. So to me, yes, it's like devil worship. Well, when I said that, I didn't realize it, but somebody was standing nearby who kind of walked up on our conversation, and he was a Muslim. And he kind of looked at me with this look like, man, what you said? And so the guy I was talking to, he looked at me and then looked at the dude. No words were spoken. The dude just turns around and walks away. And I'm like, dang, what happened? And so my friend, the guy who I was talking to, who actually was friends with this guy as well, said, man, Milk, you better go and strap up. He said, I know him. He's a Muslim. I said, oh, man. I wasn't trying to stir up no controversy or get into no stuff with no Muslim. I was just over here in a one-on-one conversation witnessing, but you never know who's listening. But so this dude's going over there. I'm watching him. He's serious. He's putting his tennis shoes on. So I go and before I leave, my friend tells me, he said, man, that dude's about his business, man. He's probably getting a knife. I said, oh, man. So I had my little shower slippers on. So I walk to my bunk area, and get underneath my bunk, and I start putting my shoes on. And I'm strapping up. I'm putting my tennis shoes on, tying my shoes. And my heart's beating. I'm like, man, I'm about to get into it behind believing in Jesus. But the thing about the Holy Bible is the Holy Bible tells you, says, you're going to suffer for the faith. So this is just part of suffering for the faith. Make no mistake, man. As a Christian, we believe what we believe in. And if you look at Christianity throughout its histories, man, many people have been martyred for believing in Jesus. We don't back down. The 12 apostles all were put to torturous, gruesome deaths because they would not recant on what they said. They believed in Jesus. So people were tossed in the lion's den. They were tossed in flames. They were crucified. These are Christians. These things happen to Christians who would not recant and would not bow down to another religion. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to stand up for the faith, but I'm not just going to go down without a fight. I'm going to fight. I'm not going to let somebody beat me out or punk me out. That's just not going to happen. I'm going to fight, and it's going to have to be a fight. And however it turns out, it just turns out. So I'm watching him. He's watching me. He straps up. I'm seeing him reach in his locker. I never seen an actual knife, but I'm watching this dude go through his locker, put his shoes on and everything. And the tension's thick, it's building. And nobody in the dorm knows. The dorm's regular, man. It's a wild dorm. People are rolling dice over here. People are watching TV over here. They're pow, 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 slamming cards over there, playing spades, dirty hearts, and everything else they do. Somebody on the phone, cha, 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 cha. There's a lot going on in there. And you don't know what each other person's doing. You're talking about 80 people in the dorm. Everybody got their own thing going on. Well, me and this dude got our own tension. And so the tension is thick. Muslim, Christian, boom, boom, about to collide. Two worlds about to collide. And so keep in mind, I'm the one who said what I said. He didn't tell me anything. He just walked in on it. So anyway, the dude and me wound up meeting up. You know what I mean? He comes up to me. And I don't remember how it happened. It's a long time ago. But he either walked to me or we met in the middle or somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it was. But I do remember that he asked me, he said, man, so you believe what you said? I said, yeah. He said, so you believe that Islam is like devil worship? And I'm like, that's what I believe. I said, I'm a Christian. So, I said, you have your faith. So in my faith, anything that's not Christianity is demonic. And he said, so you saying, even right now, you saying that you still believe that? I said, yeah. And he told me, he said, man, as long as he kind of paused for a minute, and I don't remember exactly how it went down. And I could see he was mad in his eye. He said, well, I believe that Christianity is false and it's demonic. And I said, I understand that, and he said, so you ain't gonna back down on your stance. I said, no, that's just my stance. I said, I was having conversation. You walked up, whatever happened. And he said, I'm gonna tell you something, man. He said, as long as I've been a Muslim, he said, I've met very few Christians that are willing to stand up for what they believe in. He said, I respect that you're still willing to stand up for it, even with the possibility of physical confrontation and a fight. And I said, I understand. I said, look, man, I respect you. I respect what you believe in. You know what I mean? I said, we obviously have conflicting and, beliefs in one another's religion. I said, obviously he just walked in on a conversation. And long story short, me and this dude wound up becoming really good friends. He respected me. I respected him. He never changed his stance on believing in Islam, and I never changed my stance believing on Christianity. Now, I want to keep something in mind. If I would not have found Jesus before I went to jail and had a true experience and relationship with Christ, I am an extreme person and my personality is extreme. I would have probably easily been influenced by Islam, and I would probably be a Muslim today. But because I know that Jesus is real in my heart, and because of the personal experience that I had with him and how I know he wrecked and changed my life, that there's zero chance that I'll believe in anything else. And I know that there's a chance that, I can be condemned for my beliefs, especially in today's society, So even in prison, I was willing to stand up for Jesus. What I'm here to say, tell to you today is that you can be a Christian in jail. You hear a lot of stories. Now, make no mistake, Muslims tend to be really extreme. They seem like they don't want to be about violence, but a lot of them, especially the younger wild ones, they just looking for a reason to fight. If you've done any time, then you realize that. But then you got the real ones who ain't really trying to have that. They trying to promote peace, but there can be violence inside of them. But make no mistake, if you look at the history of Christianity, there's no lack of violence in it. And I'm saying it's wrong, but if you look at the Irish Republican Army, Catholic Christians, they brought a lot of damage. Look at most of the Mexican drug cartels. They have some sort of Christianity or Catholicism that's related to it. As off as it may be, they're connected to Christianity. And these are violent people too. So there's this assumption that Christians are weak. Most people I knew inside the prison system who handled their business were Christians. Now, they were Christians in thought and Christians in word and in what they believed, but they didn't practice it, so there's that. So what I'm saying is that, whatever you believe in, that's what you believe in. But as a Christian, I wasn't going to back down. That was the only instance I had in prison where I actually conflicted out of all the years I spent in there with a Muslim, and where we had, where that possibly turned into a fight. I wound up being friends with a lot of Muslims, and some of the best books I ever read was recommended by some Muslim brothers in jail. Even when I worked in the kitchen, I used to look out for some of the brothers of Islam, and I used to, put some extra stuff on the side for them when they were going through Ramadan and hook them up on their tray. So I had a good relationship, but as a Christian, I believe what I believe, and that's just the way it is. Some people need to quit being scared. Stand up for what you believe in. And sometimes when you believe what you believe, it may cause conflict. But do you quit believing less in what you believe because of conflict? Nah, man. My resolve is even stronger because it's who I am. It's what I believe. Anyway, I want you to go check out another one of my videos as I get this channel with or without parole started. If you want to know who the 3 most infamous people are inside the Louisiana prison system, go check out my other video on the 3 most infamous people inside the Louisiana prison system. Until then, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.